Welcome to the advanced training on the C-surance sales module of the new interface. For one, obviously for the sale, we have two different tabs that needs to be reviewed. The first one is the project information and the second one is the project list. So let's start with the project information. This one is pretty straightforward. All you need to do is fill in the date of request, effective date, structure, production language, so you're able to choose between English or French, who is the current carrier, since when is the next renewal, and who is this presented by. Then you've got a free format document here that you are able to fill as you need to or remove. This is a kind of a Word document, so you are able to either change, modify, add as you need to. Furthermore, you are able to use predefined document if you wish to, that you are able to put it in here that will represent or reflect the kind of information you would like to add to your request for proposal. So obviously all you need to do is go in, select the type of information that you need from the predefined document, and then simply associate it to that request for proposal. Obviously those predefined documents can be created by you, and you are able to do whatever you need to do with those documents, so you are in a clear position to create your own set of information. You could create them in both English and French, and obviously from there you will be able to use those information as needed and simply apply them to whatever request for proposal you will need to do. This is taken care of, so let's move to the project list. The project list is a very sophisticated, easy to use project management and request for proposal management. The way this works is pretty easy. What you normally do is you start with a request for proposal, let's say a first column of information that you put here, and you just fill in the information as you need them. Obviously you could fill the information one by one, or you could actually use predefined documents again. So to use predefined document, all you need to do is go into your list of templates that already exist, and you simply select one of those that you need to import into your request for proposal. Now obviously those requests for proposal or those documents, you are able to create as many as you want. You are also able to export to those documents. So you are able, let's say, to select this one here and then create a new one and just give it a name as Allegroupe, for example, demo, and this will now be part of your data set of templates that you are able to use at any point in the future. So if you want to reuse this, all you have to do is select Allegroupe and then say OK, and the system will actually go in and replace all the information by the one that you have into the environment. Now, once this is done, obviously you are also able to use other types of document. Other types of document, predefined documents, you are able to use templates that were created by C-surance. So those templates are much more advanced, much more detailed, and normally we should be able to provide you with all the templates of the various carriers. And if you don't find the templates of any of your carrier, all you need to do is advise C-surance about it, and we will create those templates for you. So basically, the way it works is that once the document is created, you are able to go and review the content of that document or content of that template. So in this instance, for example, we see this as an Alpha Plus, 2 to 4 employees, and we have all the details about the minimum coverage and all the information related to it. At the bottom here, we've got basic information as well that is associated to it. You can get the same thing. This was with for the life portion. You could go and see the ADD. You could go and see the dependent insurance, short-term disability, long-term disability. You could also go much further and get all the details about, for example, the ADD limits. If you lose an arm, a leg, or if you become paraplegic or quadriplegic or whatnot. So the system will provide you with all the information that is part of those standard contracts. The same way, you will have all the details about the standard templates for the paramedics, and should you at any point in time need to change that, obviously you will have all the options to do so once you have imported those information directly into your template or into your sales request for a proposal. Now, once this is done, once you have sort of assigned the new plan, then you are able to simply use this document here and make a copy of it that will become a current plan. In order to do that, again, very simple. All you need to do is just check here with the options, and one of them is called actual program. So you just create this, say who the carrier is. So we'll say, for example, this is Great West, and we simply use this as Great West, and we will assign this as a current plan. So this will automatically create a new column that will contain the information about the current plan, which obviously is going to be a copy of the information we already had, because we just made a copy from the proposed plan of Industrielle Alliance, and we made a copy that now is called the actual plan with Great West Life. Should you need to create optional plan, all you need to do is simply use the other column next to it. Now, obviously, you are able to go in and change whatever portion of that information you need to, and also, once this is all done, you are also able to send this to your selected underwriters. So in order to do that, what you need to do is simply select from your list of favorite underwriters which one you would like to send this to. So let's say you want to make a copy to Blue Cross, you want to make a copy to Manulife. All you need to do is simply select them and say OK, and the system will automatically create an additional copy for the various carriers that you just needed. Once this is all done, obviously you could move back to your request for proposal here, and the system will automatically send that project to the carrier. To get a copy of the actual request for proposal that will be sent to the insurance company, all you need to do is click on the report and then select the RFP report. And here is what the carrier will be getting in order to be able to quote this risk properly. And see here, we've got all the details of the comments that we threw into the system. We've got the details of the benefit for each group of employees. If we've got different division, different classes, the extended health care, the long-term disability, critical illness details, paramedics information, other fees, as well as hospitalization. You'll find all the rating history as well as the claim history, including the graphic presentation about the evolution of the rate at the list of employees that the system will provide. We'll then have the list of disabled employees as well as the employer contribution that is a 50% of premium optimized contribution, and the employer part will be 50% of that. You probably noticed here that in the previous page we have hidden the names of the employee, because when you are sending a request for proposal, we probably would like to make sure that this type of information is not provided to anyone that is not authorized. At this stage in the game, we simply provide numbers, and when we actually send the formal request for contract, obviously the proper information will be displayed with the name and addresses and whatnot of the employee. Now you also notice here that we've got a red flag. The red flag means that there are some important information that are not entered into the system. So you would need, for example, to find all the places where there is a red flag and make sure that you fill in the blanks or you fill in the information, because otherwise, obviously, you will not be getting a proper rate because important information are not going to be provided. So obviously, again, you simply go in and fill in whatever part of that information needs to be filled. And once this is done, the system will simply review that information and change the status. So as soon as this is changed, the system will now verify and say, oh, we're still missing something. It is less important because it's a yellow flag, but still you would need to fill in the information about the reduction formula here that is applicable to the dependent life. The object, of course, is to make sure that the insurance company are able to quote you since you will have all the proper information, or even better, you want to make sure that the system will provide you with the proper calculation, and until the yellow flag is turned to green, there might be some element of information that are missing that will not provide the proper calculation. Now, we just noticed, like I said, that we had, let's say, 10 lines of information here. We've got about 15 here. We are able to change the content of that information. We could go to a simple analysis that is just a couple of lines, as we are able to see, and we are able to move this to a complete analysis, including services. So As you can see, pretty easy. All you need to do is go in, change the information as needed, and once this information is changed, then you've got more fields that you are able to fill in. So obviously, again, this will allow you to better see what are the changes or the information that might be missing. Now, for instance, if you need to go into the paramedics and you need to make some changes, again, very simple. All you need to do is double click onto the information. You go into the service manager, and then you are able to go in and simply change the amount. Let's say you want to change this to $600. If you want to change and add some additional services, again, you are able to do that by simply selecting them, moving them to the right hand side, and once this is done, you simply approve of that. And once this is approved, then the proper information will now be contained within the new paramedics information for that proposed plan of 2011-2012. Obviously, we see here that as soon as you have the information or you receive the information from the various carriers, you are able to update that information. And once the information is updated, all you need to do next is to ask the system to actually do the process calculation and analysis. So very simple. All you need to do is simply click once, and the system will go and make all the calculations, prepare all the reports that you need, and provide you with all the information and the various reports that will be required after that. So again, as you saw, very simple processes. You are able to change and make whatever type of information you want. And once this is done, we simply ask the system to do the preparation of all the reports, and then we will be able to select the kind of report that we need for that specific client. Now, obviously, there are other features that you are able to use within the environment. For example, you could go in and select additional benefit or delete some benefit if you wish to. So you could remove the critical illness if you wanted to, or you could add another benefit if, again, this is what you need to do. So this is pretty straightforward. Again, you simply pick and choose the benefit that you want, and the system will simply go in and replace those benefits, add or remove the benefit as needed. Now, let's say you also want to go directly into the life portion. You could actually go in directly into the life portion and then be able to access the information directly so that if you are using this for the admin activities, you could move back and forward in time and be able to see all the activities that are associated to this specific benefit at any point in time. You can also use the calculation method that you could say, for example, just calculate the selected project. You could calculate all the projects or calculate just the modified projects. So obviously you will be able to go in and make those kinds of calls should you need to. You also have the possibility of just modifying table of rates. So if you just want to work with the tables of rates, you want to set your own volume numbers and stuff, well, you are able to come into this interface and you will be able to do those changes as needed. Finally, you are able to decide what is the color of the highlight that will show the differences between the current plan or the number one plan here compared to the other ones. So we've selected to have money green, but we could go ahead and make this and change it to med gray. Whenever you make a change to any of the contract information, so let's say I come here and I make a change to this benefit here and I replace that by 100,000, for example, obviously now this will turn into a gray color. So obviously, again, the system allows you to easily see what are the changes between the various plan compared to the original one that you have set up as the first one. Now, obviously, you could also decide to move those plans around. So you could say, for example, that Capital needs to become the number 2 plan. So all you need to do is simply move this to the left and use the arrow to do the same thing. So we saw here that we moved the Capital 1. So once this is done, the next step is simply to call for the various reports that you need. As you can see, there are various reports available, and these reports will be available to you based, of course, on the plan selection of the C-surance or the Allegroupe module that you have selected. Every one of you will be getting the comparative analysis. So the comparative analysis will show you the 4 plan that you've selected. So let's say we're going to select those 4 plans here. So the system will allow you to select and print and show on paper the same information we see here so that you are able to share that with your client. So obviously, once you have selected the plans that you need, you are able to print them, provide the information to your client, and therefore help him make the proper decision. Again, the output will be dependent on the selection that you made. So if you selected to have a complete analysis, the system will provide you with that. Obviously, you could have a front page that is generated by the system. You could create your own front page, so you simply provide the design of that front page to C-surance, and we will create a custom front page for you based on your request and based on the colors that you'd like to show. So obviously, again, your logo appears here. You've got all the company information here. You've got the analysis done by Elite from Allegroupe. You've got 2 classes within 1 division. These are the 4 plans that we are comparing. And then from there, we will see all the details about the information from one plan to the other. And this should be highlighted by the various colors again. So if we're not seeing this right now, please do not worry. It will be on the true presentation. So again, here we've got all the details about the acupuncture and all the different services. And we will go ahead and get all the rate and cost analysis, so we are able to look and review the volume as well as the rates, the premium of any of the benefits, and of course we'll get to the bottom line and get that information as well. That will provide you with the 100% being number 1 column, and all the other ones are simply going to be a percentage of that 100%. So this is going to be 95%, 81%, 119%. But obviously all these numbers are relative to the actual benefit coverage. So if we've got $600 a year here for acupuncture and we've got $775, well, it might be a possibility that this could be more expensive. So again, you are in a position not only to offer your client a cheap cost, but you are able to provide them with the better services and the better cost that is required by your client. The other reports will allow you to get, for example, the list of monthly report. That is the billing for, let's say, the number 1 plan that we've got right here. What would be the billing for those employees? So the system have created all the billing for every one of those, and you simply need to ask what if billing would be for each of the client with the selected benefit, with the selected coverage, and the system will provide you with a what if billing, again with your logo on top, and you will find all the necessary information. So again, all the details are very specific, and you have the GST, the PST, the insurance tax, all the proper information is there. And then you've got a resume of all the information here, as well as the number of single couples, single parent, as well as family coverage, how many are waived, what are the total number of members, and you have all those details for each of the benefit as well. Now, should you want to have the same report for the proposed plan here, obviously you simply click on it and ask the system to do the same thing and ask for the report. Or you could go ahead and say, okay, let's give the pay by pay period. That is, the system will now provide for Industrielle Alliance what is paid by the employer, what is paid by the employee, what is the total premium, and you've got a list, of course, for all the employees, and then you've got the taxable benefit as well as the deductible expenses that you are able to apply. Now, please note that we've got taxable benefit here for provincial healthcare services, but of $11.54 for Claude Denis. But please note that we've got a provincial deduction of $18.87. Same thing with the federal expenses. We've got a $7.33 expense that can be applied to the income tax, while we've got a zero taxable benefit for that client. So obviously these additional information here, the deductible expenses, will become a strong added value that you will be providing to your client. Now, again, if we keep on going with the various report, again, remembering that some of the report will not be available to every one of you because it will be relative to the actual list of plans and benefit that you've selected to purchase, or the service that you selected to purchase from C-surance. So obviously this could vary from one user to another. So again, here are the detailed information for each employee. Now, each employee will get their own personalized sheet of information that will be either in French or in English based on the language of choice of the employee. So we see here that Claude Latour is an English-speaking employee, so we will be providing him with an English-speaking sheet of information. Also, we noticed that we had a 50-50 employer-employee contribution of $11.83, and if we look closely at the contribution by the employer and the employee, we will notice that the contribution has been optimized in such a way that the employee will get as little as possible taxable benefit and maximum deductible benefit. So we did not split right in the middle, the life portion, for example, or the dependent life or the ADD. We actually split it in such a way that the employee will get a maximum tax deduction possible. Also, the impact of this is going to be that the employer, having less taxable benefit to add to their payroll environment, will be saving a lot of money as well. So as you can see, the C-surance technology or the Allegroupe technology will provide you with very detailed information that will allow your client to save tons of money. And again, we could go ahead and see all the other reports. So we could have a summary of tax expenses. We could have a claim history that we already saw before, the rating history, a monthly cost comparison. So the monthly cost comparison, for example, will provide the financial portion, information about the client and the risk. So you will be able, again, to see the differences between the number one plan and all the other plans compared to those. So again, we will come to the bottom here and we will be able to give them a number. This is going to be the number one because you will be saving 18%. This is going to be number two, saving 4%. Number three and number four, you have an additional premium of $19.83. Now, remember that this information is based on simply the quote, the numbers, but we saw before that the system also provides you with all the details of the benefit so that you are able to compare benefit apples to apples and peers to peers. You will also be getting other types of reports, such as, for example, pay period cost comparison. So you will be able to compare all the plans from one to the other. Again, this will allow the employer and the employee to be able to compare the rates, the total, and see what are the taxable benefit in each cases. So obviously, this is a very useful tool to help your employer make the right decision and decide what is the best solution for them that will make them save the most money while providing the client and the employee with the best coverage possible. Among the other reports that we are able to see is, for example, an RFP summary. The RFP summary could be provided again to the employer, and this will provide a different view for the employer for one specific plan. So we will have all the details about the dependent life, long-term disability, for example, and whatnot, including the premiums and all the details that are required. We'll see the volume, premium summary, and all. So obviously, again, these are detailed reports that are available to you depending on the actual plan and services that you select to pick. Again, the C-surance logo will disappear and be replaced by your own logo in order to ensure that this is personalized to your needs. So this pretty much covers the important facts about these two distinctive tabs that are available for the sales module. So obviously from here you are able to do your own exploration, and if you run into a situation where you need assistance, you could always give us a call, as we are happy to provide you with additional services and respond to your question if any question arises. From here, I propose that you go and review the equivalent options that are available for the admin. Of course, the admin is going to be related to managing the information on a daily basis, so you will be able to see the differences in the contract information as well as the details of the benefit. And of course, the employee information will be kept up to date, so you will be able to see the histories of event as you go along. So have a nice review, and hopefully this learning piece has been useful to you, and you will be able to be more efficient and more productive.